Hi, welcome back to Chase the Veil, and we're going to continue our series on questions you should ask your vendors, and today we're going to focus on caterers and your reception site. And go ahead and start introductions.
I'm Mike Wise with Mike Wise Photography.
Chef Jo Ann with Rozzi's Catering, Continental Ballroom.
Krista Tharp with Tharp Events and Blissfully Simple Wedding Planning.
And I'm Jennifer Rozzi with Rozzi's Catering and the Continental Ballroom. So, today we're doing caterers, your reception site, and the questions you should ask us. Who wants to start?
So, when there's food left over, do you package it up and give it up back to us?
Depends. You want to take that one?
No. The reason why is because, one, not all facilities, if it's not here at the ballroom, at our facility, it's because there's nowhere to properly cool the food down, and so we worry about, the temperature danger zone and everything for the food and how people are going to get it back. So no, we usually don't because of the Board of Health and everything. So,
But we have had people, and people are welcome to do this, to bring coolers and ice, and
Yeah.
then as long as you can keep that food safe, in our opinion, as long as you can keep that food safe, you could take it home and have it.
How do you go about selecting menus, and what are some of the ways that you decide, as far as helping the bride and grooms decide what they want for their menu for their day?
Really, it's about your taste. I always tell the bride and groom, you need to please the bride, the groom, and whoever's paying. So you don't worry about the other 250 people there, and are they going to like the chicken that you chose, or do you think they're going to be more, like pork better? So really, it's about. It starts with the look and feel that you want. If you have a theme, what's your favorite foods? What do you want to eat that day? And that's kind of where we start, and then we bring in the chef.
yeah.
What are the most cost-conscious foods, but still that are enjoyable, that are good? I mean, obviously shrimp is inexpensive. Shrimp and steak is going to be expensive. But what if you were talking to a cost-conscious bride? What would you suggest?
Probably what most people pick is pasta.
Really?
Yeah, pasta. That's usually, because you can use less, there's not as much meat. So, you have different meat that's a filler. So it's usually pasta. Or, we've never done one with casseroles or anything like that, but it's usually pasta dish. So
That surprises me. I was expecting like chicken marsala or
just
chicken,
depends.
chicken.
Because, we look at price, because you look at food cost and price fluctuation. Each, depending on the time of year, depends on cost of meat. So it just all depends on, what the price is. So it's usually a pasta dish that's something that will have, you can still use meat, but you just don't use as the portions are smaller. So just, that's pasta is about.
Great.
Most economical.
You can do it in your stations and
Right.
different type of things, and it's also vegetarian if you want it to be.
And as you add, as your caterer has to add staff and equipment and services, of course that adds cost. As you add service, you add a cost. So, if you're looking for an economical, buffet and disposable is always, going to be a better cost-conscious route than, China and stations and plated.
I know that a lot of my brides tend to do buffet because we're in the Midwest and people love the buffets. But there are also a couple other options. There's the plated, which tends to be the most expensive because you have wait staff. But there's also family service, or family style, which, you've got large entrees of food. I think that some brides expect that to be less expensive, but they don't realize family style, that you still need servers,
right.
to
Family
do that.
style is really probably one of our favorite
Yeah.
It's what we had at my
services.
wedding 15 years ago.
It's like if you really want to engage people and you want people to talk and to meet each other and to mingle at the table, family style is great because you have to ask and pass things around, and it's more homey. It's something you would do at home perhaps. So that's always a fun and very creative way to go with service, but it does still cost a little more than buffet because you have, instead of one platter, now you have
5.
25 if you have 200 people
Right.
of one dish. So you still have to add, and a good caterer wants to serve you in a short amount of time. I mean, they don't want you to, unless this meal is supposed to go for an hour and a half, you want that food served fairly quickly and everyone served as reasonably together as possible. And so you add, that is figured into the cost.
Can you explain what that, not just sales tax, that's obvious, but the gratuity or the service charge, what that is?
It depends on your caterers. Most caterers and facilities, there's an 18%, on average, it's 18%. We've seen it anywhere from 15 to 22.
22%.
And if you're looking at holiday, it could be, more. There's a service charge that covers, let's say it's 18% service charge, and it covers the additional things, in your linens, and if they're not itemizing it, it covers that. It's not always gratuity. In most cases, it's not gratuity. We know a caterer who they charge an 18% service charge and an 18% gratuity. So you need to know going in, are you paying, 18% on it or a percentage on your meal and then another percentage on gratuity. Some caterers, I would say the majority in our location do not automatically charge gratuity.
Right.
So be aware, if you think the staff is getting tipped because you paid a percentage on your bill, that may not be the case.
Sometimes it's also like stuff that we can't build into the cost of food, like the wear and tear on our chafers, centerpieces that we use for our buffets or overlays, or dry cleaning for our skirts and stuff like that. That's sometimes what that 18% that helps us cover the cost. It's stuff that we cannot build in to our food cost or for our services, so we build it into that 18% because every little that helps with the wear and tear on our chafers
And that
and
also
sternos and
means-
stuff. So, and a lot of caterers do that throughout the country. When we go to these big events and stuff, throughout, what do you call them, seminars and stuff, that's what they're doing. That's, you can't include your insurance, because we're insured, so we can't cover, we have to build that cost in there somehow, so
Right.
that covers it into our 18%. So when you see that, that's usually what a caterer is doing, is the small cost that they can't itemize out into their food cost and labor cost.
And that also means your caterer is doing more than slapping food on a table. They are giving you more service than just, here's some chafers and some food, your paper plates, and enjoy your meal. You're getting a service that matches all this time and talent that you put into your tables and the decorations and the whole look and feel. Your caterer should incorporate that, and that's where they do that, when they have matching overlays and centerpieces on your buffet, and they have excellent staff, and so they're contributing to this vision that you've put together.
So if this covers the other incidentals, what is a typical tip, or what do you, is it everything, some people can just give an extra $25, or is it, and I know that you guys don't expect to tip. I know there are other caterers that do, but what is traditional? Is it a percentage, or?
It is it's one of the hardest questions to answer, and it differs. Just like any service anywhere, if you're going to tip, you should tip based on the service you receive. Jo Ann kind of has a theory. You start, when she goes to a restaurant, you start at this level, and you either go up or go down.
And that's
And it's really your comfort level, and what do you want to spend. We have people do, $10 a server or $20 a server, or they put a percentage on the bill. It just varies. It really, really varies. And you'd probably be more surprised at how many caterers do not get tipped.
Mhm.
If it is a catering company and that's all they do, they cater, their staff probably does not make server wages. So they probably make a higher wage because they cannot rely on those tips. Some caterers, if they also own a restaurant, maybe it balances,
Right.
I don't know. But you have to, be aware and ask that question, but be prepared that it might be, whatever your comfort level is.
Mhm.
So,
I'm going to throw a question to Jo Ann as far as what's your favorite thing to make?
I really don't have one. I like to do what we've started this year kind of is the action stations. So we do a lot of pasta stations and carving stations and stuff, and that's probably, I like to do those. As far as making stuff, when the bride or when a client says you can do whatever, then I have. Because sometimes you have the same stuff, so yeah. So I
Well,
really don't
when
have.
people get creative,
Then that's when
yeah.
I-
I mean, we have one right now who the parameters were Mediterranean, and particularly they like Greek food, and it was it was fun. I
Yeah,
mean, it
it
just
was.
became, we sit down, it's a brainstorming session, and and then you just create something that they like are, wow, I could really have that.
Because because we're also doing a German
Uh-huh.
event, so
Right.
so when I can go in and do something different, I don't have really
and
any-
match your personality,
So I don't have anything that I like.
Personally, I think you haven't lived until you've had Rozzi lasagna.
Or the artichoke dip.
Oh, with the artichoke, now that's living excelled, is with the artichoke dip. That is, oh my gosh.
Top it off.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Very good stuff. Why I'm not a size 6. Yes, very good stuff. So,
Any other
Any
questions?
I think we're
Well,
good.
great. Well, thank you for joining us, and don't forget to check out all our episodes each week on chasetheveil.com.